Hello, everyone. Hi. Okay, let me make sure that I am on live. Good day. Hope you guys are doing well. Whoop whoop. Happy Thursday. How you doing as you come in? Let me put this here so I could see if anybody comes on. Say hello. Let me know how you're feeling today. What's coming up for you? How are you feeling in your cycle? What season do you feel you're in, and what season are you actually in? Sometimes those feel differently. Yeah. Okay. So today we're going to be talking about shadow stalking your luteal phase without spiraling. Here's what I mean by that. A lot of times we experience these symptoms in our luteal phase, and we kind of they catch us by surprise. We are like, oh my God, here it is. I feel like shit. It's like end of your luteal phase and you just don't know what to do, or you're trying to manage the symptoms when they're already full blown. That's not what we do around here, okay? Around here, we spot the patterns and we support our bodies before it gets to the point of no return, okay? So why do we track? And a lot of you guys probably use an app, or maybe you have one of those fancy rings. Hi, Marinella. Hi. Hi, Ashley. Okay, I'll make sure you get the guide. Some of us maybe use the rings. I'm actually looking into getting one. So if you have a recommendation for those one of those rings that tracks everything, let me know. I just want to play around with that. Or some of us have an app that we use. Okay. Sometimes the apps are super great because we're able to, and we live in a society in a world where technology, app this, app that, so awesome. The app sends you a little message. Here's what you're going through today. But the thing is that apps can only do so much because our bodies, our women bodies, ebb and flow in ways that an app cannot predict. So our luteal phase gets a bad rap often. Why? Because it is the phase where the truth comes out. It is the phase where if we have been neglecting ourselves all month long, the truth comes out. If you are lacking boundaries, not taking care of yourself, eating like shit, not moving your body, high stress all the time in your luteal phase, that comes out. So, tracking these three things that I'm going to share with you today is a way for you to help yourself spot the patterns that I was talking about early, name what's going on without shame, without making it mean things about you, because that's another thing. And for me personally, when I was really struggling with luteal rage, I would make it mean so many things about me. Make it mean that I was not a good mom, make it mean that I was not a good wife, make it mean that I was schizophrenic. I literally would say stuff like that. Or make it mean that I was just broken. There was so much shit going on with me. When in reality, there were just little tiny adjustments that I had to do, that I had to shift before it hit to that point where I was so aggravated and so irritated and so frustrated that there was like the point of no return. Why am I like this? Okay. Before we get to that territory, we want to become aware. That's why I call it like shadow stalking. You get on top of it. You get to, you get to, let me tell you something, guys. This is my ADHD brain, right? Like I have a lot of ADHD tendencies. Right now in Florida, we're in the season of, they call them love bugs. And there are all these bugs that fly around. I'm right next to the window and they're all connected to each other. They're like mating. So they're like flying around like this all over the place. And there's some that keeps coming to the window and like distracting the shit out of me. But focus, okay? All right. So I'm going to share with you three things to track to help you to get on top of, get in front of these luteal phase symptoms they ruin your life. Here's another thing. We have become so accustomed to feeling like shit, or, oh, it's just the luteal phase, like, oh, it's just this, that we kind of like normalize not feeling great in our body all month long. It's possible. It's possible when we honor the season that we're in. Okay. So you're tracking to create safety and clarity in your body when we do these tracking things. It's not to micromanage your body. We are just getting on top of it. We're not changing and micromanaging and doing all of that. We are simply getting in front of the symptoms that bring us down. So the three things, and we're going to get to it right away. If this is landing with you, if you're someone, let me know if you're watching, if you have struggled with the luteal phase because you wait until you're spiraling to start thinking, oh shit, I got to do something. I've received so many messages from women in their luteal phase asking me, what should I do? Because I'm moody, I'm irritated, I'm ragey, I'm angry. You don't want to wait until you get to that point before you start taking action. Okay. So, what do we track? If you want to use your app, that's beautiful and fine. My go-to and recommendation is to get something on paper if you can, or even if you type it in your notes. Here's why. When you write things down, like when you journal, when you I was going to say stalk your cycle like this, but when you are tracking your cycle like this, it activates different parts of your brain. These different parts of your brain, once they're activated, they help you to become more aware of your body. I don't say track stuff and get a piece of paper or a journal for no reason. I say it because it truly does work. These are the nuanced things that is not often talked about, but we as humans, we are made a certain way. And although we live in a world where technology is booming, we live in a world of AI, we live in a world of technology, our bodies have not yet fully evolved to that. Okay. So writing things down still activates parts of your brain that signal deeper processing. Okay. So get a little notebook. You could purchase one of those. What I did is I purchased one of those 5-year 1 line a day journals. It has like 4 lines on it. And here are the things that we track. By the way, this whole little training that we're doing here today, I have condensed it into a guide, a simple guide that you could come back and refer to, reference, and it also has, like, in case you don't want to get a little tracker, it also has space for you to actually track. What you could do is you could print it out and copy it and use it. When you do this, you start noticing the pattern. If you are not able to see the pattern, have that awareness, it's really hard for you to make a change. We all know that. If you don't know that there's something that needs to be changed, you're not going to change it. Okay. So, what are the three things that we track? And by the way, if you want that tracker, just comment stock in the at the bottom here, and I will make sure that once I have it all done, I send it to you. Okay, completely free. This is a good first step for you to get a hold of your luteal phase. Okay. All right. So what are the three things that we track? These are the non-negotiable that I share with all of my clients because I know I've seen and I've witnessed, I've gotten testimonials that this works and this is easy and it really does paint a beautiful picture. So the first thing you're going to do is track your cycle day. What day of your cycle are you in? FYI, the first day of your cycle begins on day 1 of your bleed. Okay. This is your context. It tells you where you are in your cycle, in your story of the month. If you don't know exactly where you are right now, that's okay. Okay. Just start day one, the first day of your bleed. Over time, you're going to start to notice your luteal shift. What day your luteal shift usually starts. Okay. I hear from a lot of women that they don't really know what days they're ovulating or exactly when because it shifts. There are a lot of different reasons why your ovulation days will shift because we don't live in a dogmatic, straightforward, linear world. We are women who flow and ebb, and we are cyclical and rhythmic, and it comes in waves, and it's not always going to be the same. When you start paying attention to what your body is saying to you start to notice what that rhythm is. Okay. So that's the first thing you're going to track your cycle day. Are you a cycle day one? Are you cycle day 14? Then you're going to be noticing, do I ovulate on cycle day 10 or do I ovulate on cycle day 14? Get it? Like it's a very big difference because once you know when you're ovulating, then you know when your luteal phase begins because your luteal phase starts about 4 days after ovulation. Okay, give or take. The second thing you're going to track is your mood and your energy. Okay. This is your hormones and your nervous system talking. I wish when I was younger, I was taught that my nervous system was actually the one that was running the show and my hormones were just kind of like the instrument. Okay. Our nervous system is the conductor of the whole orchestra. It is the one that says, go up this note, go up that note. It is the one telling our hormones, which by the way, are not just carriers of chemicals, but also carriers of frequency and energy. I did content on this recently. Our hormones don't just tell our body what to do, where to go, like when to rest, when to go fast. It brings a specific energy to it. Okay. So when you track both of these, your mood and your energy, you get a clearer picture, okay? Because guess what? You can feel emotionally fine, but then feel physically depleted or vice versa. How many of you, if you're watching, like how many of you have felt like tired but energized at the same time? Moody, like high energy, but like it's just not correlating. The math ain't mathing, okay? What you're doing with this is you're looking for patterns, patterns like irritability, patterns like sensitivity, patterns like anxiety spikes, brain fog, motivation dips. All of these things ebb and flow with your cycle. You're not meant to be the same every day. Consistently looks different based on the phase that you're in. You're also going to start noticing times when you're more withdrawn, like you don't want to hang out, you don't want to have conversations, right? You don't want to be touched. You got that don't touch me energy. Energy. Everything is energy. Your hormones carry energy. Your nervous system directs that flow of energy. Is that making sense? Let me know if that's making sense. Yeah? Yeah. So when you're tracking your mood and your energy, what we're doing is we're not just tracking, how do I say it? Like you want to track what you're predominant because we ebb and flow even throughout the day, correct? Like I could wake up on top of the world and by like midday, I'm like, all right, it's enough of that. Is it bedtime? Tracking your predominant, the most man, these love bugs out here are wilding out. There's so many of them. Um, Tracking your mood and your energy is going to give you your predominant mood and energy throughout the day is going to give you a very good picture of what your day looked like. Okay. So that's the second thing. The third thing you're going to track is any physical symptoms because this is your body's dashboard. Okay. Do you see how these three correlate? First, you're getting the story. Where are you in your storyline? Second, where is your nervous system and your hormones in this storyline? And third, what is going on in your body's dashboard, right? Common luteal cues are breast tenderness. Progesterone dips, your breast starts to feel tender. Um, Bloating is a big one. Craving, headaches, sleep changes. A lot of women report that during their luteal phase, they keep waking up at certain times. That's hormones. That's all correlated. You also could get maybe acne, cramps, constipation, loose stools, inflammation. Inflammation is definitely increased in your luteal phase. If you were to take a picture of yourself in your follicular phase, for instance, peak ovulatory phase and mid luteal phase, you're going to see a difference in your body composition. You might get a little bit more achy during your luteal phase. Tracking intensity and the timing of this is where the gold is. It's where you really start seeing the pattern. A lot of us think that our symptoms are random. Like, oh, I have a headache, random. I just randomly get headaches during random times. No, when we start tracking these things, you're gonna start noticing. Man, I wish I would have brought my journal so I could kind of go through with you with that. But you're gonna start noticing a specific pattern, right? So what we're gonna do is we're gonna track these three things. Now, how do you use this? I don't want you taking 30 minutes, 40 minutes doing this because who has time for that, right? We live in a modern world. We're busy. Simply taking 3 to 4, 5 minutes, 10 minutes, whatever makes you feel good every day max to do this is going to bring a lot of awareness to your life. And inside of the Bloom method, which is my signature one-to-one program where I take women through this process in a very personalized way, the number one thing, the main thing that we hammer down on is the awareness piece. Because you don't know what you don't know. You can't change what you don't know. Okay. So how are you going to use this? You're going to take 5, 10 minutes of your time. You're going to pick a time that you're going to track these things. For you, it might be in the morning. For me, I like to track it in the evening because by the next morning, I already forgot what was going on yesterday. So if morning works better for you to track the day prior, do that. For me, I like to track at the end of my day. Track this, start doing this just for 30 days. To be quite honest, do this for 3 months because at the end of the day, our body ebbs and flows. And for you to get a really good snapshot of what's going on, you need at least a 3 to 6, maybe 3 to 9 month period to really get a really good picture. Okay. So to begin, just track for like the 30 days. If your long cycle is longer or shorter, or maybe you bled for 2 weeks or whatever, keep going. The goal is to notice your pattern. The goal is to notice your pattern. After 30 days, you're going to come back and you're going to look and you're going to start seeing the pattern. Again, patterns, not problems. We're not out here looking for problems. We're looking for patterns. That's an energetic mindset shift. Okay. We're looking for patterns. Choose one of those patterns that you notice. Maybe you get a headache right after you ovulate, right before your luteal phase starts. Or maybe you get super cranky in a certain way um, on day 21. Whatever it is, I want you to pick one of these patterns and then do a supportive action. If you're not sure what a supportive action is that you can do, don't worry. This guide has that. I kind of give you a little like, if this is going on, this might be what your body is needing. This might be something that you could use to support it. So don't worry about that. I have that included in the guide for you. However, over time, you're going to start noticing certain things work better for you. Okay. So it could look like clearing out your schedule a little bit more. If you're getting super irritated a lot, at the end of your luteal phase. It could be an overload problem. You got way too much shit in your schedule and your body feels like it's not being allowed a moment to rest, to let down the guard. So maybe cleaning up your schedule, cleaning up your to-do list, pausing things and doing it later might be exactly what you need. This is something that is really big inside of the Bloom method. So inside of the Bloom method, the first thing that we do is we map out, it's called a cycle mapping session. We map out all of your cycles and we track the patterns. We start noticing the patterns and we build a very specialized plan for you. And then we optimize that plan for 3 cycles, shifting what needs to shift, seeing what works, what's not, what's being supported in your body, etc. A lot of us are oftentimes very quick to go jump to a supplement. Supplement. What's a supplement that I could use to lower my cortisol? What's a supplement that I could use to help my luteal phase? What's a supplement that I could use to lose weight? Guys, let's have a mindset of our bodies are so incredibly made that if we offered it the right support, yes, sometimes that support might look like supplements. I'm not saying that there's anything wrong with that. I'm just saying that look to see what your body actually needs instead of just throwing spaghetti at the wall and hoping that something sticks. Okay? Does that make sense? So inside of the guide, if you want the guide, comment track at the bottom. I give you if this is what's happening, then this might be what you need to support your body with. Okay? Any questions about that? Let me know in the comments if you have any questions. Big time over here. Yeah, yeah. I think it's so important. Let me tell you something. I believe that it's so important for us to truly just listen to what our body is saying, support it the way that it wants to be supported instead of cutting corners and putting band-aids. When we put band-aids on things, we're never getting to the root cause. What happens is when you take that band-aid off, the wound is still there. It's not being resolved. Okay. So taking a supplement that you don't necessarily, and you know, sometimes you don't even necessarily need these different supplements. Your body just needs to be supported in a way that aligns. Now, here's another thing to notice. Doing this, tracking these 3 simple things is going to also give you a really clear picture, a clearer picture than lab work could ever give you. Hear me when I say this again. Doing this simple, free thing yourself is going to give you a clearer picture than if you were just go and get some labs done. Labs are just a little snapshot, and most of the time, 80% of the time, when women go to the doctor complaining of symptoms, recently had a client this happened too. Went to the doctor. The doctor gave her very basic labs that didn't even cover what they needed to cover. And all of the labs came back fine, normal, within range. However, she's experiencing irritability, can't sleep, bloating, feeling depressed, foggy, all of these things. Okay? If you were to track these 3 simple things that I told you, you're going to be able, especially if you are able to really decipher, decode the language your body's trying to speak to you, you're going to find better answers. Okay. And if you're not sure how to decode the information, that's why I'm here. Okay. I have a free cycle alignment cycle. It's called a cycle, a clarity, cycle clarity call that it's free. We spend 15, 20 minutes looking at what's going on inside of your cycle. And then I give you like next steps, like, okay, this is what's going on. This is what you should be doing, or this is what would be most supportive for you to be doing. If you are interested in that, I'm going to link it in below, but also you could send me a DM and let's get you on my schedule so that we can look at what's going on. You don't have to continue to struggle with your cycle hoping and praying for menopause. Babe, if you are wishing and hoping and praying for menopause, let me tell you something. Menopause sucks, okay? When you're not taking care of yourself and aligning with your cycle and supporting your body, menopause is not a walk in the park. Menopause is rough. So instead of wishing and hoping and can't wait until I don't have to deal with this anymore, let's live in the present and support our bodies the way that our body wants to be supported. If you have any questions, feel free to DM me. My DMs are open. Drop stock for this guide where I break all of this down that we just discussed today, plus give you an actual tracker. If you are or you have been tracking your cycle and you just don't understand what it's actually saying to you. I know a lot of women that track their cycle, they even use the app, they even use all the stuff, but they don't have any clue of what's actually going on because they don't have the language for that. Book your clarity call. It's free. Okay. And if you are like, you know what? I'm done. I just want to get this going. I want to understand what's going on with my life and my cycle and all of this. And I really want to do the work and not take a shortcut. I have opened up 8 spots inside of my one-to-one bloom method where we go through the bloom method. It's 5 steps and it starts with, like I said, a clar cycle mapping call. We build you a personalized plan, and then we follow through on the plan for 12 weeks, 3 cycles, so that by the time you're done, you understand what's going on. Within those 3 months that we are every bi-weekly, we meet up, you don't only get support on implementing your plan and accountability, but I also have different modalities and tools to help you to uncover the shadowy parts of it. The parts where you know you need to rest, but you feel guilty about resting, or you feel shame, or you don't know what's going on. You can't listen to your intuition. What are the blocks? And we do this together, and I give you an energetic practice that you can do every single day because here's the thing. Here's the thing. Breakthroughs are amazing. We could build a plan, we could do all the things. But if you're not constantly showing up for yourself consistently, doing the energetic work, it's not going to work. Plain and simple. So I definitely weave energetics into this program because I know the importance of cultivating safety in your body through a practice every single day. Okay. So I will see you guys next time. I love you all. Be safe. Take care of yourself until we meet again.